um, Nat, and we're going to get started with tonight's Business Roundtable. Welcome.
Well, welcome again. Thank you, Nancy, for that introduction. And thank you, everyone that's tuned in tonight and for our second monthly business showcase. And as Nancy mentioned, we're trying to highlight, in this particular case, businesses that are here in Howard County, but also outside. But our focus tonight, as it was last month, was on Howard County business. And we are excited to have a fantastic lady who's doing a great deal here in Howard County. And I'm going to really let her introduce herself and tell us her story and how she got started. And I'll ask her some additional questions so we as people here in Howard County can really see what businesses and business opportunities that are here in this county. So T, take it away. Tell us who you are and your company, how you got started. And from there, I'll ask additional questions. So welcome again. T, are you on? She may have frozen there a little bit. Let's see. It's always good when it's working, and when it's not, what can we say? Can you hear me, T?
Okay.
There we go. Okay. All right. It's always good when Zoom is working. So T, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and all, and your business, and just, you're on. Go right ahead.
All right. So I just want to give you a little bit of history about
Can you back up a little bit, maybe?
Who is an owner, only pioneer, very furniture pieces and fabricate sneeze guards as well.
Okay, we apologize. We seem to have a little bit of trouble with T's audio. We're going to give this a restart.
Yeah, we're sorry, folks. As they say, when technical difficulties, when it's working, it's great. When it's not, we got to fix it a little bit. I will say for some of us that are somewhat seniors around here, we've got technical difficulties that's temporarily interrupted our program. We'll tell you, please stand by. And if you remember that a little bit, you're dating yourself. But we'll get T back on very quickly.
So Nat, do you want to explain something a little bit about the business, about the Ujima Business Roundtable and what you do?
Sure. As you see on the background, folks, this is the Ujima Business Roundtable. We formed that about 15 years ago. And this is basically an invitation only for as business owners. This is not like a chamber that you would probably be used to where anyone could join, whether you're an owner or a salesperson or whatever. This is primarily focused on business owners. And what this basically does is we meet once a month. And with those business owners, we try to coach them and educate them as business owners so they can see the entire landscape of operating as a business owner, not a person that's basically in the weeds all the time. So we share ideas, we share thoughts. We've also had members in there that are representative of the banking community because we found that some of our business owners needed access to capital. And through that access to capital, what we've done as far as this roundtable is said, sure, you can have that access to capital, but at the same time, we want you to build those business relationships, whether it's in a banking environment, whether it's in a legal environment. So this roundtable is just what it is. It's a roundtable of business owners, helping them to grow their business, to expand, to pick up additional skills that we felt is needed to be a business owner operating like a CEO. I use the phrase really operating at 30,000 feet up. So they can think long-term, they can think strategic. If there's projects that are out there that we can discuss, it can be an opportunity for them to form a joint venture to go after that particular business, whether it's with the county government, as far as purchasing, or if it's in the private sector. So really, again, as I said earlier, if we meet every third Friday of the month, and it's a roundtable of business discussions with different businesses and different entities, people that, as I said, are accountants, bankers, lawyers, and other businesses across the entire county, as well as Prince George's and Montgomery County, coming together so they can really exercise their, shall we say, business acumen and really get a chance to see what other businesses are doing, either in their respective industries or outside. And through sharing of those opportunities and sharing of those ideas, we feel it'll help them grow themselves and grow their business. So that's pretty much in a nutshell about the Ujamaa Business Roundtable. If anyone's interested, they can go on our website and see, or you can just Google and that'll send you right to the website. So hopefully, excuse me, Nancy, that gives them pretty much a broad overview of what we do. And we're just excited now to have a collaborative effort with the Howard County Library that we can expose the business opportunities and the businesses of our members to other facets of the Howard County citizens.
Now, are you able to call T to see?
I am. I can do that. If you put me on mute, I'll give her a quick call.
Okay, great. It's a good time if you want to grab a drink. We're going to get started again. We've lost her here.
It's a thin market that is sold where she's selling primarily to high-end interior designers. Her prices are quite, the price points of our stuff is actually quite high. There's very little that would be less than $1,500 to $2,000 factory price. And then she sells to a showroom that markets it to an interior designer who markets it to the final customer. And so what a lot of people aren't aware of is that just like you have shopping centers, people go to shopping centers to find stuff. We have throughout the country approximately 30 what they call interior design centers. These are buildings where you have, in New York, I'll give you the example, the name is the New York Design Center. And it's a building that companies have there's two types of showrooms. Either the larger companies have their own company-owned showrooms, and smaller companies, let's say like Spectrum Collection, would be in what's called a multi-line showroom, that a person would open up a showroom and represent anywhere from 4 to 10 different furniture lines. Mm-hmm. Then interior designers will come and bring a customer into the showrooms, and then the customer sees it, and then they order it, and a lot of it's custom. There is a design center in Washington, D.C. that's located on K Street at the corner of 14th and K.
So Pete, if I may, let me just chime in a little bit. Where are you located in this? You're calling in now. Are you here in this area or where?
Oh, well, I live primarily in the Philippines, thanks to T.
Oh, so wait a minute, let me back up here.
I was able to just say, it's yours, T, goodbye. I'm going to sit on the beach.
No. So you're calling in from the Philippines?
No, unfortunately, I made the mistake of coming back to the United States and then getting and being locked out of the Philippines because of COVID-19.
Okay.
So I'm hoping I had expected to be back. I expect to be going back on January 5th, where I will get there on January 6th. So,
Okay.
which is my birthday.
All
But
right.
I'm having a very difficult time dealing with the weather that we have here right now, because in the Philippines we have three different climates: hot, hotter, and hotter than hell. And where I live, it never gets below 70 degrees. At 70 degrees, we turn on the heaters.
Okay. T,
Well,
let me ask you this though, from another standpoint. You mentioned, Peter mentioned that, hey, he started you in here. How long have you been here in Howard County?
I'm
gonna say it, T. I want T.
We were when I first came to Howard County. It was when I moved out of Washington D.C. 2003.
Yes, exactly. It was 2003.
2003. So, okay, you and Kenny, who we met, and you've been part of our roundtables since,
Yeah.
I guess, since 2003 or 2004. Is that right? T?
No, actually, that was like 4 years ago. I mean, actually 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So time flies when you're having fun.
Oh man, yes, definitely.
So really, before we get into in depth, really, I know Nancy put on the website, on the chat room, your website, but if you can show the phone a little bit around some of what Peter and you have described, the acrylic furniture here, so that our watching
give you an
audience can get an
example.
idea. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So this is a side table, which is an accent table. Everything is custom and handmade from the beginning to the end. And this right here is a console. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm gonna stand back a little bit. Can you see the console?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this takes approximately anywhere to 8 to 10 weeks to make. Everything is again handcrafted. So that's why it takes so long.
So do you have artisans there at your location there in Savage? Because I know you're right off of 32 and Route 1.
Right.
So do you have people there that do the design work or what?
I actually do the design work.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And she does consult with me sometimes. She's working on, let's say, like right now, a table which is going to be a fabulous diamond-shaped table. And so, I mean, just
and this is the prototype. This is the prototype.
Oh, that's the prototype.
Yes,
it's going to be a diamond. There's going to be like two of them, and the customer is located in, I think, Arizona. And the customer wants a piece of glass that's going to be 10 feet long by 4 feet wide, at a 3/4 inch thick, which weighs about 700 or 800 pounds. And they wanted to be supported by two very large crystal diamonds. Go ahead, put that close up to the camera.
Yeah, let us see that.
Yes. So
imagine that is going to be, that's a miniature. So because the designer wants it to be it is so expensive, and to make sure that everything is in proper proportions, she wanted it. The designer wanted it to be wanted a prototype made. And so I know this is just a project that T is working on right now. So that's the prototype, and there's going to be like two of those. But imagine when the project is finished, that is going to be about 29 inches high and about 21 inches in diameter inside. So imagine a diamond, and there'll be two of those mounted on a base supporting a piece of glass. And we've done the stuff has been pictured, let's say, like Elton John. When I had a big project for Elton John a few years back, it was pictured in a magazine called Architectural Digest.
Okay.
And
okay.
So we always, I mean, of course, we like to brag about the big people, and also she's done some stuff for Rihanna. So T's maybe a little bit shy, but
Wait,
out of
Pete,
out of the
Pete, I'm going to say this because you've known her longer than I have, but I've known her for a few years, and shy is truly what it is, because I've been saying she is probably, for our people here in Howard County, one of the best kept secrets that's out here, and really had to really get her to expose her business, because it was fascinating the time that I had a tour, and now watching what she's doing now in terms of the prototypes and all. You're right, she doesn't really get out there to let people, our listening audience, know what we have here. And I'll use, no pun intended, we have a diamond right here in Howard County, and we need to get that, let you get
and
that
it's not even
exposure.
a diamond in the rough, it's a diamond.
So T, let me ask you this though, and Pete was talking about the prototype and all, and you designed it. Walk us through very quickly, how would you, from the concept of the owner that's in Arizona, how did they communicate to you what they wanted? And walk us through a little briefly how that would matriculate to that prototype and then the finished product.
Okay, well, they wanted a diamond shape, and so they had a drawing, but it didn't look like a diamond. So I was thinking, like, I took a diamond in my ring and I did some research, and then I did a drawing, and he did a drawing as well, and then I was able to come up, envision like a diamond, a true diamond, just like this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you envision that, take us now, that's your envision. Do you use a picture or a drawing, and then walk us through from the concept now to the actual prototype and what's involved in that?
Okay, so we do the drawing and we do the measurements. Then we take a piece of acrylic that is approximately 4 inches in thickness. And then we have our technician actually bevel each side. So they have to craft it as such according to the drawing.
Okay. And so after that, you get that prototype as you've seen there, and do you send a picture, or do you send that prototype to the person to touch and feel, or what?
Yes, actually we do a drawing. We send the drawing to them so they can see the schematics. And also then we also send the prototype to them so they can touch, feel, and see the clarity of the acrylic.
Okay.
Which is very, very important.
And so once they get that and you get the green light to produce it, in this case, how long, I think Pete may have said, but how long will it take you to put that together, and then the shipping and all?
And this particular piece, this is going to take 10 to 12 weeks to make.
Okay, wow.
Based on the thickness of the acrylic. So
if I could explain one thing to you about it, is that working with the equipment that she has in the shop there, a lot of it is equipment that is very similar to what a high-end woodworking shop would have.
Okay.
The only difference is between her machinery and a woodworking shop is that all of the tooling has to be made out of, have diamond tips, or be very strong high-end carbide. So it requires, and the other thing is working with acrylic is similar. Let's say, like if you're making you want to smooth a piece of furniture in a woodworking shop, you start with a 100 grit sandpaper, then you go to a 180 grit, then you go to a 320 grit, and then you're done with it. Acrylic is a little bit finer. You start with a 100, you go to the 180, you go to the 320, then she's got to go to the 600 grit, then she's got to go to the 900 grit, then you got to go to the 1200 grit, and then you can start polishing it. So it takes a lot more work. Then to come up with a solid piece, let's say like acrylic, the thickest that you can get acrylic is 4 inches thick. So she's making a piece, it's a diamond that's going to be 21 inches in diameter by 29 inches high. She's got to glue it together. When she glues it together, after you glue it, it's not like it dries in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. She's got to let it sit there for approximately at least a month. So she'll do all the gluing, and it's got to sit there and cure for a month. If you don't wait for it to cure for a month, then what's going to happen is that the seams will come apart. So that's part of the process also. And but what sets her apart from other companies is that this is all handwork. She's got a very fine group of technicians there.
Yeah, I was going to ask that really, T, in terms of the technicians, because what Pete has described, that this is really is like an artisan, so to speak.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking now, how do you train someone that's, let's say, a person here in the county wants to do this type of work? What's the training process or the orientation? How long will it take for them to get to be what I would call, being a layperson and not knowing, an artisan in this skill?
Why don't you discuss, let's say, like Janet, who lives right around the corner? That would be, so tell them how long Janet has been here, what she's been doing, and
Yeah.
what you taught her. That would be the easiest. Let's take Janet, who started when I was still hanging around. She just called me up and said, "Can I come in?" And so I'm sorry if I'm taking over. I shouldn't. And so I want to apologize to everybody for talking way too much.
T, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically Jen has been with the company over 15 years or more. And she started out just basically detailing the acrylic pieces to, get it all cleaned up and everything. You really have to have like at least some type of woodworking background. If you can work with wood, you can somehow work with acrylic in some regards.
Mm-hmm. So when you say 15 years, I guess I'm saying now, if they started at zero, how long what's the timetable to get to where you would say to her, this project that you're working on now for the diamond, that she could do that from the beginning to the end? How long will it take her to be in that category, I guess I'm saying?
Oh, wow. It
Probably 10 years.
Yeah, it'll take some time. It's not
because she started first by cleaning and packing.
Okay.
Then you taught her how to do. Then after you did that, you taught her how to do the sanding. She hasn't done the machinery. When she does the machinery, she doesn't feel comfortable doing the machine, working on the heavy machines. But she does everything else. Then she can also do the gluing, which is probably the most technical part of the whole process. Because when you glue it, you can't just slap two pieces together and glue it. You have to tape around to make sure that whatever excess glue comes out doesn't get on the acrylic.
Mm-hmm.
Where Janet is very, very good in that. And so who cares if she can't machine? She can do some gluing that will run circles around everybody else.
Okay. One of the questions that was put in the chat room that was a good trigger. Do you offer any type of an apprenticeship program for someone? Because you said, if I've got a background maybe in woodwork, or I may not have any background, but I have an interest in that, is there some type of apprenticeship or training that would go through TEEF to reach that level?
As of right now, we don't have any type of apprenticeship, but in the future that I would be considering.
Okay. Now, looking at it from a standpoint now, Pete mentioned that you've got people, this person is in Arizona. What are some of the other states or countries that you're involved in terms of your product being shipped out to them? Any?
Well, I do have showrooms in various states in the United States. For instance, I just acquired Judith Norman, which is a major showroom in Florida.
Miami, Florida, the largest showroom in Miami showroom. After having been with E.G. Cody for 40 years, we were with another showroom, which was a major showroom. They just retired. The principal has just retired. Literally, I started with my oldest showroom in 1976. They were my very first showroom.
Yeah. Now, when you mention showrooms, that's another piece in there. When you say acquire, is that someone that you build or go to far as a relationship or a contract with them, or is that your showroom that you own particularly outright?
No,
remember when I
actually represents our line.
So they represent your line.
Exactly.
Both my line showrooms, like I had mentioned earlier, like in New York, I was just using that as an example. Don't be shy, T. Tell them that you have a showroom in Boston. You have a showroom in New York. You have a showroom in Atlanta. You have a showroom in Miami. You have a showroom in Dallas. You have a showroom in Los
LA and
Angeles.
Seattle as well. Yes.
You
Oh,
have a
so,
showroom-
so what I guess I'm getting at too, and what Pete is saying now, you would look at each and every city that may have that type of showroom and negotiate a deal with them to showcase your products or what?
Exactly, exactly. So what we do is I will create a piece for this showroom on consignment. And that's how our pieces are displayed. So a client or a designer would go in the showroom, they see the piece and say, oh, I want that. And they, send us the specs of what they want and we put it in production.
Okay, okay.
Hey, Nat,
And
I have a question. I was wondering because we're fortunate enough to have Pete here tonight, and not all of us can walk into a job as young as T did and then move up to the CEO. So I'd like to kind of hear what you saw in her and what qualities she thinks made her get to where she is today.
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm asking you, what made her stand out to you that
you would give it over to her, yeah.
Exactly, because I think
Well-
all of us here would like to walk into some kind of an opportunity like that. So what's that magical quality that T had?
Well, I think it was, I mean, generally, I think the best way to get somebody in this type of business, because it's a unique business, when T started with me, she was, I think, fresh out of high school. She had just finished high school. Maybe she'd gone to 1 year of community college. I don't remember, but I think, and when she started, so I think the best thing is to have somebody who's open to learning, and that's really what it was T. And she started in my office as I guess as an office assistant, and
Right.
then soon it got to the point that, say, like for the last, I'd say 5 years in the business. I'm 74 years old now, and so I had so you might say when I became 65, I started getting lazy and so on. And T was around, T had been there. You might say OJ she learned everything about the business over the course of 15 years, and I was I might say a lot of as an absentee owner, just until then I decided that when I was 70 that I decided I think I'd had enough. It was time for the next generation to take over. But I think it just takes somebody who has a heart, likes to deal with people, and it's something that anybody could do if they have an interest. And it's you might say working with acrylic furniture is something like an acquired interest, because it's not like you walk into every store and you see acrylic furniture. It's special. It's a special type of furniture. Generally, if you look at the furniture, she's not selling that much furniture in North Dakota or South Dakota or in Nebraska. It's furniture that's primary. Cities like Baltimore, Washington, Richmond, Philadelphia, New York. And who can explain why? I think people are looking for something that's modern and that's unique, and that's what she caters to.
Yeah,
Like-
and I would want to follow up with Nancy's question, T, and this is definitely back to you. Yeah, I hear Pete saying you had that, but what sparked that interest in you to stay there and really pick up everything? Because here again, I'm just amazed after listening to Pete and now you, and now I get a different perspective. What made you stay to learn that? Because you could have just said, hey, all right, I got it, let me walk away. So what made you stay and say, this is something that I want to really dedicate my time, attention, and my career to?
Well, for the love of acrylic, I love the acrylic. I love the product. I love making people happy because, believe it or not, I have a client that's in California, and I sent her a piece, and her dying wish before she, passed away, she wanted a piece of furniture. And I found out that it made a difference in people just by creating something beautiful.
And so that's got you excited and kept you going. And
Yes, absolutely.
okay.
Making something beautiful.
So follow up on that too. Now that you've been in business for quite some time as a woman of color, what has been really some of the challenges that you see that you faced in your past being a business owner?
Well, sometimes the day-to-day operations, a delivery running late, or probably supplying, the supplies coming in late. Primarily some of the day-to-day operations with supplies coming in late. That's my major concern right now.
And you mentioned that now too, the supplies. Okay, we know where we get wood, and I've got, trust me, I'm a total novice on this. I know when you're building furniture, you get the wood, but where does this acrylic come from?
Okay, so basically it's more of a chemical base. It's
Okay.
like plastic.
Siri here. Let me know if I can help.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so it's more of a plastic base. It's just like a plastic bottle. So it's just almost the same chemistry of making a plastic bottle, but it's more of a sheet. It's like a big plastic sheet, a 4x8 sheet that's on a platform.
So do you get the raw materials coming there and then you create it there in Howard County, right there in your warehouse?
Yes, exactly. So it comes in like this, but it's more on a bigger scale. So imagine it's like 4 feet long by 8 feet. And so we're able to bend this, and we're able to also put it in the oven up to 400 degrees, and we're able to, bend it, mold it as we see fit.
Okay, so your supplier of that would be coming from some other location?
Correct. So it's shipped to here, and then we do, the fabricating from that point.
Okay. I'm looking in the chat. Nancy, do we see any questions that our audience may have?
I have a question.
Sure.
Go ahead.
If I can jump in.
Yes.
Hi, T.
Hi.
My name is Janelle, and I'm just so inspired by your story. And I just want to get into a little bit more of how did you jump from, okay, you were doing administrative to you're actually a designer now and you're designing furniture. Was it just on the job training, or like what did you have to do to get to where you could design furniture and it's artistic?
Yeah, so it was definitely on the job training, and then from learning and watching, be honest with you, I just was able to learn, and different techniques allowed me to, go forward and design.
Wow.
I mean, T, was it kind of like were you just, obviously Pete was a wonderful mentor, but
Yes.
what would you, how did you establish that mentorship? What is it, just kind of persistence? Was it what on your part that you would say like made you stand out for him? What did you do when you were younger to get this to happen? And how are you doing in this business as a woman too? I would love to know.
Yeah.
I was definitely persistent, to the utmost. And I was just thirsty to learn. I wanted to soak up everything that I had to learn to run this business. I said, one day, I would want to do this. I just had a real passion and willingness to learn this business. This is something very unique. And up until now, it, has been very successful.
Okay. Anyone else? Now, you said up until now, how has this pandemic really affected you? And really, what do you see that you needed to do or are doing to pivot now with this under this new normal?
Well, honestly, it hasn't really affected the business because
Okay.
actually, we are providing sneeze guards. So let me tell you the story. So I was shut down for approximately 2 weeks because I was non-essential, because we were only doing furniture, and that's not considered being essential. So, and within that 2 weeks, I had to think, what can I possibly do? So we had acrylic here, and I was able to pivot by making sneeze guards for local businesses in the area.
That's-
show them. Do you have some in the office right there? Go ahead, walk over there and show them what you're doing. Don't be shy.
Oh, no.
Are they still there? Go ahead, show them what you can make, because this is something that I would wonder, why can't I don't think she's done any business with Howard County. And Howard County, why not? They're buying sneeze guards and stuff like this from all over the country. Why not buy from a local business? That's
Absolutely.
providing jobs locally. There's so much
Absolutely.
that she could do, and she hasn't been able to get in the front door, even
Okay.
in Howard County.
So this
You know,
is one of the sneeze guards here. It's a 24 by 24, and this is custom. This is not from overseas. So we
Yeah,
can easily
Wait a
make.
minute, your phone is not showing that, I don't
yeah,
think.
you're not showing it long enough.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
put the phone, and it's clear because people have to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
so,
see what I can
so
find.
clear.
Let's see.
So point the
Okay.
phone there and hold it there so we can.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we see it.
Yeah, that's a good, that's the plus side or downside of acrylic. It's so clean.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, there you see, yeah.
Right,
So-
okay.
So she's got a line of stuff like that, and I sometimes wonder. I say to T, why can't you get in the front door? She says, I can't get in the front door. I mean, Howard County is buying stuff like that from all over the country. Why do they have to buy from a company
We
in
agree.
Florida and in California, as opposed to providing jobs in Howard County?
Well,
And,
Pete, I can tell you right now on that, that's something that T and I are going to work on in 2021 to make sure that that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I would have no idea.
She can do some. I mean, here you got a company. It's the only company in Howard County that works in acrylic and can do can do it. And all you have to do is, let's say, if you see an acrylic sneeze guard from somebody else, and just show it to her. She can I mean, she's not a middle person. She's not a middleman. She's not an importer. She's a factory that
We know.
in Howard County. It's criminal that you go into every office in Howard County and have sneeze guards. Not one of them has been manufactured in Howard County, and whoever is doing it, and she can't. It's criminal. Look at the jobs that could provide for people in Howard County.
I agree.
Well, we're happy to get the word out. So we do have a question in the chat about, were you always an artist? And did you have, when you went to get your first job, did you know that you had the love of acrylic? Because I mean, I don't know, like, you don't grow up to dream, I want to work in acrylic. So was it just by chance that you came into the acrylic job and then that became your passion, or was it your passion first?
No, actually, I just over years, as I was in the industry, I began to really have passion and love it. I love what I do.
To be honest, that's what it is she responded to an ad, like she said, and it was to work in an office. I don't think she knew what acrylic was until she started working for me.
So
I
do you
can
have
imagine.
any artistic background at all, or is this all kind of on the job, just going out and getting it and learning?
I dabbled a little bit, as far as drawing. But after that, it really came out as I was working. So yeah, I have a little bit of artistic background.
And then we have another question in the chat. Did you have any African-American women who mentored you? That's a great question.
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. So what advice would you give for two things? What advice would you give for people who want to either enter into the business that you're in now or go into business on a general note? What advice would you give them?
Invest in your team.
Okay.
And always follow up with your clients.
Gotcha. All right.
And
Well,
how many people do you have? There was a question earlier that we skipped over. How many people, how large is your company? How many employees do you have?
Believe it or not, I have 3.
Wow.
And
3.
all this work.
Wow.
Yes.
So what are your plans for as growth? What do you see the opportunities out there for growing?
Well, for 2021, I definitely plan to expand. What I'm planning to do is to have the showroom here in Howard County. So not
Great.
manufacturing facility, I want a showroom.
Fantastic. That is great. Are there any other questions in the chat room? Nancy, do you see any? I don't see any.
I don't see any, but lots of compliments. I think just getting the word out that this exists in Howard County, that
Yeah.
you're local, that it is happening here, that, I mean, this is like an amazing self-starter story. And, you know, and the power of being a mentor as well to somebody. I mean, this is just an amazing combination of people, and to have the mentor and to have you here and what you've been able to do just with learning on your own it is amazing. So we'll open it up to see if anybody else has any more questions, would like to say anything, would like to ask anything or get any other information. You can do so now.
Yeah, we have a question in there. Let me just pull it up, Nancy, in the chat room there too. Okay, do you have any idea how many employees you might need to open the showroom here in the area?
Maybe three employees.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, that's good to know.
What
And-
I think that she can do the most growth is what I've been telling her is because she's got all the equipment and she's got the technical know-how to start getting some jobs where she can get making sneeze guards. I mean, that's a tremendous business. And if she can get a contract with Howard County to do that, where they buy it, she could probably provide 10 to 20 jobs. And the fact is, she's right there. She's got the space. She's got, I think it's a little bit over 6,000 square feet of space. So she's got a lot of space and she's got the technical know-how. It's just a matter of getting something and that she can expand her business, because what she's doing right now is a very technical, specific oriented business that you can make. But the thing is, to grow, I think that's her next step, what she needs to do.
Great.
And anything that anybody who's listened to this that can help gear her towards that in that direction certainly would be grateful.
Yeah, we'll be able to do that too, because as T knows, I also am the vice chair of the Howard County Equal Business Opportunity Commission. So we'll be talking about that in terms of her growth going forward as a member of the Roundtable going in 2021. So that's my commitment to you, T, as we go look forward to 2021.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And T, we do have somebody who would like to be able to get in contact with you. Can they do that through your website, or are you comfortable sharing your email?
Oh yes, I'm very comfortable sharing my email.
Okay, great. So I'm going to post her email in the chat if you have any questions for her.
All right.
Okay.
Because that will be great, because it's just such a great story.
Any other questions? We cognizant of time. T, I want to thank you so much. And Pete, definitely want to thank you. It's been an added attraction, I will say, to us. And thank you so much for being.
I think I spoke too much, but T is a little bit shy. And I mean, she's a wonderful person, but she's shy. And I just felt like I want to apologize for talking too much.
No, I'll let you and T discuss that offline.
Right.
But again, T, thank you so much. And Pete, also thank you so much for being a part of this. And as we said earlier, this is part of the Howard County Library System and the Ujima Business Roundtable Business Showcase. And so if we got anyone in here also that wants to have their business showcase going forward 2021, please contact either Nancy or myself, and we will definitely get in touch with you and set those times and dates. Our next business showcase is going to be on January the 26th, the fourth Tuesday at 7 p.m. And we're going to really connect again with that particular business. That'll be a surprise for you. But again, T and Pete, thank you so much for participating and being involved in this. And I know I speak for all of us in here. You are truly a diamond that is hidden, not in the rough anymore, but we've got to make sure that this diamond shines very brightly here in Howard County. So again, thank you all. Thank Howard County Library System. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Nancy. And on the behalf of the Ujima Business Roundtable, we wish everyone a happy holiday season, happy new year, and we'll see you in January.
Yes, and thank you, T. On
you.
behalf of the library system, and thank you, everybody. I put her, it took me like 3 tries to type it correctly, but I've got her email typed correctly now in the chat, so you can take that. Cynthia, can you post her website up again on the, in the chat as well before everybody goes, if you want to stick around to catch that? And we'll be back. Do we know who's coming in January yet, Nat, or not yet?
Not yet. We will shortly. We will post that on your site very shortly and have that posted up.
Yep,
Yes.
so we do this on the 4th, is it the 4th Tuesday? I
Fourth
always get it
Tuesday of
wrong.
every month, and that's lock that date in. That'll be January the 26th at 7 p.m.
And so we welcome everybody to discussion. We'll love to have T back too as well to talk about this. It's just a fascinating, inspiring story of hard work truly paying off, and you know, just really kind of, you never know what door opens you up to the opportunity of a lifetime. And you were certainly lucky to walk in the door that you walked in all those years ago, and to be able to share your story and inspire others to get out there and try is really just really a good reason for the holiday season, I think,
Yes.
is to spread this hope and love. So we have everything in the chat. If you want to contact us, contact T, and we want to thank everybody. Have a safe and wonderful holiday, and we're all looking forward to next year, and sneeze guards made locally.
There we go. There we
And they're
go.
beautiful sneeze guards. I think your work is beautiful. It's
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
as I imagined. I said, oh, this is going to be nice. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Thank-
yes, and so do you have on your website where they can look at the other pieces, correct? So we posted that in, so feel
Yeah.
free to go
All
and look in there and dream something up for her to create. So
Yes, I
so,
would.
All
awesome.
right. Well, T, thank you, everyone. Happy holidays, and we'll see you January 2021.
Awesome. All right. Good
And I
night,
hope you get to
everybody.
the
Thank you
Philippines
again.
soon. Bye.
Good night.
You're a
Bye.
blessed lady. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Ooh, Jesus. Let's see.